worth it. You've chosen an excellent day for an excursion. I've ordered sunshine for all of us, of course, and it works. From there you can oversee almost the whole island today, and you probably will be able to see as far as Lanzarote. It's an excellent day to go up to the mountain Morro Velosa. There we have a break, obviously, and it's there's a little cafe, there's an exposition there about the island itself, about the wildlife on the island and around in the sea as well. It's very informative, tells you a bit about the formation of this island, and also there's a little cafe, and of course it's an official pee-pee stop. We must have pee-pee stops, that's the first official pee-pee stop. Then we go, oh yes, it's very necessary. Then of course we're going to drive a little bit further into these mountains until we reach the old capital of Betancuria. Betancuria is only 3 streets, but it is a town because it was our capital right from the conquest, from the time of the conquest. That was done by Jean de Betancourt, obviously. In 1404 he managed to add this island to the Kingdom of Spain, and he decided to build his first church, the Church of Santa Maria, and then of course his first capital, or his first village at the time probably, but nowadays, although it's only 3 streets, it's classified as a capital. It was our capital from 1404 all the way up to to last century basically. Delightful little town, you really will enjoy your stay there, and we're going to of course visit this very beautiful place. A museum it is nowadays, the old bishop's house, Casa Santa Maria. Every year they can plant, and it's a kind of tradition that people do provide themselves and the family with their own vegetables and potatoes. And here, this of course is the capital of the northern part of the island. This is called La Oliva. La Oliva was founded in the early 1600s by military people. In 1593, a Berber pirate by the name of Xananda Ruiz managed to cause havoc on the island. This island, of course, is in a very privileged strategic position at that time, especially because the trade routes to India were already established and the ships had to go round Africa. So there was a lot of interest in this island. The ruin on the right is called the Englishman's House, by the way. I'll tell you a bit in a minute. Many nations tried to conquer the islands after actually Spain did. For instance, the Dutch had a very good go at it, but also did the English. I don't know if you know this, but Admiral Nelson invaded this island and was chased off by the camels. Honestly, oh yeah, they act this out every year in Tuinege. That was the place that he reached as from the east coast. Tuinege didn't get any further. However, this island and the whole of the islands were really very important to Spain. It was on the way to the new colonies in South America, and then this island also used to produce quite a few very important products like salt and chalk. Chalk was used as building material, but also to make water filters. Of course, the cheese and the meat, the gofio flour. I don't know if anyone has already told you in Lanzarote about gofio flour. If they haven't, I'll try and make some time to tell you about this a bit later on. They also used to have material sisal. You can see some of the plants here on the right, an old sisal plantation, another one up there. It's the agave plant. From the leaves this sisal is produced. You must know this because they used to take out of the leaves of these plants here. Of course, that's tedious, a really tedious job, and it's not done nowadays any longer. The flower that you see, however, this tree-like thing, that we do use every year. That's our Christmas tree. Yes, we don't have much else, so it really looks nice when it's all diddled up like a proper Christmas tree with lights and baubles and things like that. So the military people actually settled here in La Oliva because from here they could oversee very important harbors. To the west coast, of course, the harbor of El Cotillo, Rico Roque, it was called at that time. And then the harbors of Corralejo, El Javito and Puerto del Rosario, they're all not very far away. So they settled here, and after that it became a really important place, almost like a capital. It was more or less the financial center of the area, because the rich landowners and the people, the families who had made money doing and taking care of all the export of all these products, the rich families basically, they all settled around this military compound because they felt safe, obviously. There were lots of corsairs and pirates continuously attacking the islands at that time. So they settled all here. People in La Oliva, in fact, always say very proudly that really La Oliva was the capital, but that's not really true. It was, however, a very important place because it was where the money was, and where the money is, power is, of course. That's a logical thing. That's the same nowadays as well. But before the conquest took place, it was also a very important region. A very large group of the pre-Hispanic population, the Huancha population, lived in this area. It was the people of Masorata. What's written on the bus, in fact, Masorata with an X. It's written, we pronounce it with an S, Masorata. At the time of the conquests, there were two very big groups. In the south of the peninsula, it was the people of Jandia, and here in the north, it was the people of Masorata. Now, they had their own temple, but that wasn't exactly a church. It's the mountain that we see to our right, the mountain of Tintaya, used to be called the mountain of Tebeto. This is one of the three volcanic buildings which are the oldest parts of all of the Canary Islands. So approximately, well, scientists don't agree, it depends on which book you read, between 17 and 24 million years ago. Many scientists think it is around 24 million years ago that this island came out of the sea, the first of all of the Canary Islands. But not all of it like you see it nowadays. This mountain, the mountain of Tebeto, was the holy mountain of the Huancha population. And you can see there are holes in it here and there. This mountain, of course, must have been much, much taller when it first came out of the sea, but through erosion the outside completely disappeared. And what's left, the heart of the island, is nearly 100% semi-precious stone. It is called in Spanish traquita. I've googled it in all languages, and it's more or less the same word in all languages. Trachite, you would call it. Trachite, it's that, said it in Dutch and German, basically the same word. Traquita, and means that you probably still don't know what it is, because it's not really material that's very much known or used in the world, I think. Here, however, they started exploiting the mountain because it looks a little bit like marble when it's really nicely polished. It is lovely, it really is beautiful. It is sort of beige, pinkish. If you have a chance to go and have a look around Corralejo, when you go past the harbor on the right hand side, you will see an enormous big stone, and that is this Traquita or Trachite continent. Berber influence was very, very big. What we have found is very little of this pre-Hispanic people, but it points into the direction of a very big influence from people from the north of Africa, Berber population. However, these podomorphos have a different meaning. They changed the minds of most scientists because podomorphos are found in other places of the world, and it was prehistoric people who actually used to make these engravings in the north of Spain, north of Africa, Mesopotamia. So now it's thought that the population, the first ones, probably reached these islands about 1,000, maybe 1,500 years before Christ. They are still under investigation, all these engravings. At the right you can see a black volcano. That is what we call the burnt mountain. La Montaña Quemada is a monument standing on the side of it as well. You can see two big craters on the side. Now this is a lot younger than the mountain of Tomato. This is the last volcano to be formed in this area, this region of Fuerteventura. It is not even 500,000 years ago that this was formed. The monument on it is from one of our very famous writers. His name was Miguel de Unamuno. Now Miguel de Unamuno was a very intelligent man. He was from mainland Spain. He was a lecturer at the University of Salamanca. He also wrote poems and books, and occasionally he acted as a journalist. He lived in the beginning of last century. Now last century, in the beginning of last century in Spain, there was of course a dictator in power. His name was Primo de Rivera. Now Primo de Rivera has gone down in history as being a rather stupid man. There's no other word for it, to be quite honest. Not really very bright at all. Not at all capable of governing the country. And many intelligent and a little bit revolutionary people were really quite upset with this man, and so was Miguel de Unamuno. So he took it upon himself to write an article about this man in the newspaper and publish it. He wrote not a really kind article altogether. One of the things that he wrote about Primo de Rivera was that this man was rather stupid, not at all capable of governing the country. He was like a vain peacock. In his reports that he sent up to the King of Spain, he actually mentioned that it was a mal paso, very difficult to reach the area where the watcher were hiding out, which in fact was in the valley of Betancuria, nicely secluded valley, where we're going to go later, of course. Then when he finally reached them, these watcher were not as civilized and not as advanced as the Mediterranean people. Then it was short measures, and he conquered the island in 1404. Now have a look. We have absolutely beautiful views today. We haven't had clear skies like this in months. You have really picked an excellent day. The mountains there at the right at the back, that's in fact Lanzarote. And the mountain that looks like a pyramid, that's the mountain we've already passed. That's the holy mountain of the Wanche people, the mountain of Tobato or Tindaya. So we're going to go all the way up to Morro Velosa. There is, of course, this building. Some people ask me if this is a rich man's house when they see it from far. Who lives up there? I would say it's the mayor's wife. Oh, really? Yeah, from there so you can actually shoot her husband easier. it's the capital. But it's not. It belongs to the island government. Now it is looking after it, the Cabildo. And first of all, well, important things first, of course. When we get in, you'll see the gardens. The gardens have many of the autochthonous plants here, the endemic plants of this island. And there are some steps leading down. That's where you have to go if you have to use the toilets. The toilets are in the basement, as it were. On the ground floor there is the little cafe and also this exposition. It's really very informative, this small exposition about the formation of this island, about flora and fauna. You can see a little bit more as well, so take your time to have a look around it. And in the basement there's another part of this exposition, so if you're really interested in formation of geology especially and the history of these islands, then you'll have some time to look around. It's really very informative. For those of you who say that now it's about time for a cuppa or a soft drink or something else, you have a chance there as well. However, oh yeah, or a nice ice cream or whatever. Remember, however, if you'd like an ice cream, a brandy, you can also try out one of our the local medicine. The local medicine, if you tried it out in Lanzarote, honey rum. Yeah. Oh. No, but it's not really honey. It's the juice of the palm trees. They just call it honey. It's like maple syrup. No, you have to try it. If you don't like it, don't worry. Somebody else will drink it. Oh yeah. Well, in any case, you have a chance to have a look and see what's available in the bar. They make an excellent cup of coffee, by the way. Really, really nice.
Before in December. Oh, you couldn't be here. We could hardly get off the couch because the wind was so strong.
Now this is why it's got this name, Moro Velosa. Velosa is fast, and it points in the direction of the wind. Yeah, absolutely. Really, really, really. This is beautiful. Down that way.
Did you see the view?
I was sitting next to you. It was scary on the coach at times, wasn't it? Oh, God. Don't worry about the barriers.
And they became Christians really quite quickly after that. They changed their names then to Luis and Alfonso, but I much prefer the Watcher names. Ayosa and Kisa. Here they are. Have a good look at them.
You can see my photograph.
Yeah, they're very popular. Look at this. There you are. Now, our local children have a special name for them. Look at these very curvy backsides. They call them Los Culones, which means squeezable backside, sort of. Well, in any case, on the way back we'll probably have more luck, and we'll be able to stop for those of you who want to have a real good look, and then you can judge for yourselves. So, in 1404, Jean de Betancuria started building Betancuria. He started off, of course, with the church, because that was the most important thing spread the Catholic faith. That was the excuse, obviously, for all these conquests during that time. Isabella la Católica really had a very big hand in all this. And then he built the houses around the church, which are the oldest houses, of course, here on the island. Many of them are still standing, simply because without roads this was really rather difficult to reach. One of my aunties likes the cheese from the farm where we go, and every time she said, "Are you going to go and visit Isabel?" "Yes." "Can you bring me some cheese, please?" I said, "Well, why don't you come with me one day?" No, she said, "You must be joking, all the way to Betancuria." Because the last time she came here was on foot. Well, yes, with processions and pilgrimages that actually will take place next week here, all the way to the center of these mountains, where the patron saint of the island is standing in a small chapel, and we all have to make a pilgrimage. At the last time she came, must have been about 15 or 16 years ago, and that was still on foot, so she still thinks it's really very far away. She lives in La Oliva. We've just been there. I rode it half an hour or so. So in 1424, 3 islands belonged to Spain. Also La Gomera was conquered in that time, and the Pope considered that this new Spanish colony needed desperately a cathedral. So he declared the church Santa Maria to double up as a cathedral. Don't expect the St. Paul's, please, because it's nothing like that, but still.
Around the church. The other side is much younger. The original houses are the ones you will see up here. And there is the village pub, which is always next to the church, obviously. It's still up there as well. It says restaurant, but it's also a hotel. 2 rooms they have. Now, if you want to have a drink, that's a nice place to go and have a peep inside, because it really is completely in its original state and really nice preserved. It's on the road just behind the church. And if you follow me, then we'll go and see Casa Santa Maria. That's the town hall, by the way. It still is the town hall. And this makes me so jealous. They don't grow like this where I live. No. Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están, señoras? Saga. Pongo bastones. 22. Okay. Please follow Annette. So, more stairs.
nice when you said something. Wouldn't it?
Really beautiful, isn't it? Yes. You haven't dozed off, I hope. No. Now you have seen what it's like when it rains, because people never ever believe me. But the green one. The green one is not normally very hot. It's coriander and garlic mainly. Normally not very spicy, but this particular one is. This is used for cheese and for fish, and that more for the small potatoes, the Canarian potatoes, and also for meat. They very often use it with meat. The marmalades you can actually try out. You won't starve here. Cactus marmalade is really something very. Now, there's a few other things to be seen here. You can see the exposition about the boats, farm boats, milk, etc. Because we are going to visit the farm. This will explain a few things, because it's all on the television screen. Then there's another thing which is really very, very interesting. This has all to do with the coffee flower. Has anyone had a chance to try this out?